forward on all of our the reels that we do, which we do for all of our episodes now. And we're usually like a month behind on on reels. But when we do that, we're going to invite you as a collaborator,
Okay.
which is kind of fun. That's like a newer thing that it's not new to Instagram, but it's new for us. So we can, we can start. We'll add you.
Yeah, no, that's good. I
wish I could do it on this live thing, but I don't think that's possible. Okay, cool. Here we go. Okay, we're live. Everything looks good. Just make sure all of my channels are selected. Yep. And all right. Get my notes. Okay. Welcome to Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made by real estate agents and for real estate agents. My name's DJ Paris. I'm your guide and host through the show. And today on the show is our monthly series called the Monday Market Minute with Carrie McCormick from the Carrie McCormick Real Estate Group with At Properties. Now, Carrie is a top 1% producer in Chicago with over 20 years of experience helping buyers, sellers, and investors. In the last 12 months, out of 46,000 real estate agents here in the Chicagoland area, Carrie is currently ranked number 6 out of 46,000 agents. She's a true superstar and an expert in everything from first-time home buyers, veteran investors, and luxury properties. She also works with a lot of developers and is often chosen to represent their high-end developments. I live in one of these developments that was a Carrie development, so I can attest to just how popular she is. Please visit her at her website, carriemccormickre.com. But I also want you to follow her on Instagram. She has an amazing Instagram account, and most importantly, she does it all herself. So you can really see what an agent who is a top 1% agent is doing on Instagram, and it really helps her business. And that's Carrie McCormick Real Estate. We will have a link to that in the show notes. Again, Carrie McCormick Real Estate is where you find her on Instagram. Carrie, welcome to the show yet again.
Thank you. Love
You've been with us since the beginning, and I will tell you that, gosh, I think we've been doing this 5 or 6 years now, and I get more comments about your episodes than anybody. A lot of that's because we both live here in Chicago. We have a lot of Chicago listeners, and they are familiar with you, of course, and they're always like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky to have Carrie on the show." And I'm like, I know how lucky we are. And I wanted to brag a little bit about you because not everybody who listens might really know, what you do. And so I just want to share some data with you, and I hope it doesn't make you feel too embarrassed, but
okay, let's hear what you got. Let's hear.
So this is good. This is all good stuff, but I just want to share with you, what Carrie does, because some of these numbers I can't even wrap my mind around. And by the way, we should start up by saying she's an individual agent. She has a group, but it's really just her, and she has a bunch of assistants, a bunch of help, but it is just her. So I want to preface that by, because again, if you were on a team with 20 people, it wouldn't have quite the same impact about what I'm going to say, but it is really just you. Okay. Year to date, 197. No, I'm sorry. Not year to date. That was last 12 months. That was amazing too. Almost 200 million, but year to date, 113 million. Her average sales price is 1.66 million. Her, let's see, number of closed transactions, 68 year to date. Current activity. Now, I want everybody to sort of bend their brain around this. 48 active listings for $125 million. 48 active listings for $125 million. She has 6 pending listings. She has 14 under contract right now. So that is just how lucky we are to get Carrie, because my goodness. By the way, so she's been in the business for 20 plus years. For agents that have been in the business at the same tenure as her across the country, the average production that they do is only 2.6 million, and Carrie's doing 112 plus year to date. So yes, we are very, very honored to have you, and as always, I hope that's not too embarrassing for you, but I just wanted to brag a little bit about how lucky we are to have you on the show.
That's so nice. Well, thank you.
So what's going on?
Yeah, well, thank you for that. And just on that note, I am an individual agent, so I think that that's important to preface. I don't have a big team of agents, and I purposefully have formed, my business that way. It's that's just how it works for me. I do have four amazing, I don't like using the word assistants, but my support team, right? And they support me in everything that I do, and they each have their individual roles. And we work, I always think of like a successful football team or baseball team, just referencing sports, is you can't win a game alone. You just can't, unless you're playing golf, I guess, but you really can't. So, again, I've got the most incredible, dedicated team. We laugh, we cry, we work hard, we play hard. I just feel very fortunate. So, I think that is a big part of my success is having my team around me.
So this is, I think, a challenging year for agents, at least. Although we are seeing the market is improving, of course, a bit. Rates still haven't dropped to where I think anyone would prefer them to be, but I guess that's a sign of a good economy. So that's a positive overall. Maybe not so much for realtors, but who work with buyers, but certainly a good sign for the economy. But inventory is still kind of low, and there's things that are sitting out there that aren't selling, but there isn't a lot of inventory, and rates are still not where they would like to be for realtors. Did you learn anything in the first half of the year as you reflect back? Was there any lessons to learn, anything that sort of surprised you, or just curious on what your thoughts were as reflecting back on first part of 2024?
Well, this business is always full of surprises. I've been in it a long time, and every day is a different day, and the road is a winding road, right? So there's been a lot, but I would say looking back, the first half of the year, because of all the challenges that the market offers us, whether it's inventory, pricing, interest rates, life in general, clients have been a little bit more on edge this year. So for me, I've tailored my business and adjusted my business a little bit more client focused in the sense of picking up all of the details for them, meaning, again, everyone's life is so busy, whether it's washing windows in their house or doing, not me personally, but doing, cleaning or taking care of the staging or taking care of repairs. The way I communicate with clients has changed a little bit, and it's always for the better, right? And I'm not saying that I didn't do this before, but I'm taking the extra step and taking the extra mile to make sure that my clients are happy, satisfied, and they're taken care of. There's a book, and now I'm going to say this, and I'm trying to think what the name of the book is. Something about hospitality. It'll come to me as we're talking. I don't know. Do you know the book?
No, but I'm looking it up as you're talking.
Called like Unbelievable Hospitality or Exceptional Hospitality or
Unreasonable Hospitality.
Unreasonable Hospitality. Thank you. I would suggest everyone book. It's not about real estate, but the underlying message will help all of us in our everyday life. And it's really just about, if you think about going to a 5-star hotel or any experience, whether it's in a restaurant, etc. And when people go the extra mile for you as a client, as a patient, as a guest, you will always remember how they made you feel, right? And this book just has, it's written so well. It's an easy read, but so I would say taking lessons from that book of just providing exceptional service and hospitality to my clients, because that's becoming the new norm of what they're looking for.
Yeah, and two, like I think technology has pushed that forward because people are now used to getting things very quickly
Yes.
and very efficiently.
Yes.
So they don't have a ton of patience, I think, for waiting around. So I think you do have to be the agent has to be a bit more timely these
Yes.
days.
Yes, 100%. And my team here, I've always talked to them about speedy responses and again, just providing the extra mile, but that's going to lead me into what I wanted to talk to everyone about today is AI, right? So I think AI is coming upon us at a great time because again, having one manpower or, whoever it is, you can't do it all. And AI, instead of being scared of it or feeling like it's going to replace something, absolutely not. It's such an incredible tool to help us in our daily lives in real estate. So I just wanted to share some of the things that I've been using it for. And one, I'm sure everyone's doing this, and it's the easiest thing, which is descriptions of properties. Because it's funny, right now, I read the descriptions of properties, they are all starting to sound the same. Everyone's got the epitome or the opulence. I mean, these are words that ChatGPT uses all the time. So but not, and everyone knows this, don't copy and paste it because it doesn't know everything, but it definitely can restructure a sentence for you. Or if you're struggling with how to describe a room, you can actually now put in pictures of a property. I can load 10 pictures into ChatGPT and say, write a description that talks about these pictures, this house, and it will
Wow.
look at the pictures and write a description of it. Again, it's not going to replace my words. It's not going to replace, but it starts me thinking, right? It kind of forms the whole description or paragraph for me. And then I can go in and change, um, how I'm going to structure the remarks of this. I've even done it when I'm struggling with how to respond to a client in a sensitive situation. I put it in Chat GPT. I know what I want it to say, but just the tone of it. What I've done too is they call it priming. You can prime Chat GPT to hear your voice. So
Hmm.
I've inputted, who I am to Chat GPT, what my tone is, what, I've recorded certain things and uploaded it to Chat GPT so it can voice and hear my cadence and hear how I talk. And now when it responds from me, it's me.
Oh,
It's kind
wow.
of crazy, but again, I'm not saying this is replacing me. It's just assisting me. And it's assisting me in writing. It's, how to respond to certain things. So I find that such a valuable tool. So that's one thing is, the property descriptions. The other thing I've done is the data insight. Go into, obviously I'm in Chicago, so I go into my Chicago stats, which are graphs, they're percentages, it's year over year or, different stats about our market. And it's, sometimes they're very intense graphs, et cetera. And I can put this into Chat GPT. I've got a certain, they call them, I don't know all the lingo yet,
Like a plug-in.
a plugin that will read data. And I'll say, summarize this in one paragraph. And it does. So it
Yeah,
takes,
that
it's unbelievable.
I love that. I think you could do that also with with MLS data too. You could probably
Yeah.
export MLS data, especially any insights from your local market that but you're not totally sure what the insights are. You just can throw the data in and say, "Hey, evaluate this and any patterns or trends
Right.
or insights." Yeah, that's really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a way I'm using it right now. So I'm on the recruiting side, so I'm always looking to recruit realtors. So I started realizing I would like to do more short form video,
Mm-hmm.
just like agents should be doing lots of short form video to reach their clients on social media. I should be doing the same to reach realtors who are looking for content about brokerage stuff. So I was said, okay, I'm going to do a whole month on with videos about local vendor or local market partnerships. So you
Mm-hmm.
could go into a local market that you specialize in and get to know all the different small businesses and maybe do some co-branding things where you have coupons or whatever. There's lots
Yeah.
of different ways. And so I put that idea into Chat GBT and I said, can you give me like 30 ideas for a 60-second video with this topic? And it gave me 30 ideas. Not all of them were great, but I was like, ooh, I can make videos out of like 10 of these 30. So there we go. That was, and then I could technically go back in and say, write me a 60-second script for each one of these 10.
Right.
And, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a start. And then like you were saying, I go in and I just edit it, and there we go. So it's a great way to use for, creative prompts for, parts of your business. So if you're thinking about, oh, I'd like to make some videos for social media for my
Mhm.
clients, then I would think about what questions your clients ask you. Throw
Right.
those questions into Chat GBT and say, write a little 60-second script answering this question from a realtor's perspective. And then you can add in your own facts and figures to it as well. But it's a great way just to get some content made.
Well, and it also does content scheduling. So if
Yeah,
you say I want to do an Instagram post, and it'll tell you on, or just give me a content calendar, right? It's going to tell you day one, this is what you're talking about. Day two, this is what you talk about. It's again, it's such a just a useful tool for all of us. But again, I keep saying this, and you said it too, is you've got to add your own info into there, because what I'm starting to see too, again, I mentioned the descriptions, is they're all starting to sound the same, and
yeah,
people can see that. And just from an SEO ranking, it can tell when anything is auto generated
yeah,
from ChatGPT too, and what Instagram and probably Google will do pretty soon is that they're going to see it just copied and pasted and regurgitated
sure.
information, and they're going to just start pushing that down, because they
Yep,
do like anything that's authentic. So you
yep.
do have to be careful with that as well. So the other, I was going to talk about blog posts and social media, which is great. Scripting too. We talked about like video scripting, of just, using it that way. And then analyzing the trends. We talked about that too. There's so many different plugins that you can research and use. The other thing too, and the last thing, is doing an AI bot of yourself to answer questions. I don't have like a call center, and I don't do like the Zillow leads or any of the lead generation tools. I don't pay for leads, but a lot of my colleagues do. And I found that there is a way that you can have the system auto respond to these leads as well. So again, for any of those people who are doing that, I think that's an incredible tool.
Yeah, I've noticed that on a lot of support, like online support services where you click to chat right now with whatever product or service I'm needing help with. And I think most of the time I'm actually chatting not with a real person, but often I get the answer I need. And
Right.
so I think that's a fantastic idea. I also have an idea too for anyone that is thinking about doing, how about a client appreciation event? I have two ideas. So for client appreciation events, if you're like, I don't know what to do, that could be a prompt. Hey, ChatGPT, come up with 20 different realtor sponsored client appreciation events that that my clients might want to attend. Here's, give it a little bit more information about, maybe where you live and how big your database is, and it'll come up with some pretty, the more information you give it, the better. The other option I was thinking too is, if you're looking to do webinars, I'm starting to see agents
Mhm.
do more online webinars, like how to buy a condo, how to buy
Yep.
your first home, moving from renting to buying, or investing in real estate, or buying a second property, whatever the topic may be, or navigating, here's what the public needs to know about the NAR settlement, or whatever the topic may be. You can put those prompts into Chat GBT and say, hey, create a slide deck for me, and there are plugins that will actually even just create the slides for you. You'll probably have to go in and do some editing, but it will at least do the majority of the lifting for you. So you can use that if you're like, I don't know how to put together a deck presentation. I'm not really good at PowerPoint. Yeah, I'm not either. So that's a place where you can get at least all the content. And then what you could do, if you could pay for a plugin that actually builds the slides for you, or sometimes ChatGPT can do that too, or you can hire somebody for $20 to put a slide deck together if you have all the content. There's some people that can knock that stuff out in 10 minutes and make it look really, really sharp. And
Yeah.
so you may pay a little bit, but you don't have to build everything on your own anymore, which is kind of nice.
It's incredible. And I was just going to also just let everyone know, make sure that you upgrade your Chat GPT to 4.0. It is a paid version. I don't even know,
Yep.
it's $15 a month. But if you just go the standard free one, a lot of these tools are not available. But again, if you upgrade to the 4.0, you're going to have access to all of these great tools.
Yeah, for 15 bucks a month. And if all you ever did was throw in your descriptions and say, write a more, persuasive, property description, or a more upbeat property description, or whatever emotion you want to sort of
Right.
elicit from the reader, then you just throw that in there and let it do its work, and it'll probably do a decent job of getting you started there. And that's worth 15 bucks a month to me, because if it can
100%.
sell if it can sell the it can sell just help sell one home a little faster, obviously that makes up for it. So I also too, I want to go back to social media, because Carrie really is, Carrie is very modest, and she works round the clock, and she has a family, and she's got her personal life, and she does so many things. But the thing that in some ways I'm even more impressed with Carrie about, aside from her incredible production, is the fact that she also has time for social media, because that is really, for a lot of us, a time suck. It's a time hole that takes our time and doesn't give us a lot of return. But you've really figured out how much time to put in, how to do it. You like doing it, which is really fun. I find I've learned this about top producers, that if they really enjoy something, then it's kind of they'll do it themselves, and that's something you clearly seem to enjoy, because you put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a second job in a way, and I don't mean you're on it all day long. You couldn't be. You're too busy, but you have to be on it part of the day just to be posting content. How important has social media been for you in the last like several years?
Well, extremely important. And I was a little bit of a pioneer years ago doing it. Um, but I think it's become such a staple in our marketing plan now, and how we sell properties. So the reason I like doing it, I mean, I am a very creative person at heart, and I do enjoy doing the social media part, but I think it is important that each person is authentic. And it's funny because anyone who's on social media too, like people, and this is not a braggy thing, but I'll be at an appointment like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. I feel like I know you on social media, from social media. It's just like watching the Kardashians or something. You just feel like, or any of that reality show, right? You just feel like you get to know somebody from their social media, their personality, and what they like, what they don't like. I don't know. So it's kind of fun just from a personality standpoint and getting to know people. But it's been a tremendous tool, not only for a branding standpoint, but to sell these properties, because I get to showcase some of these most amazing properties, and people love watching and looking at the inside of homes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you do such a cool job. You do a lot of fun video stuff. You do a lot of I would say, I don't even know what it's called, but messing with sort of time.
Mhm.
Whereas you'll do a video tour, and it will speed up and slow down and do some really cool sort of camera tricks.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy learning about how to do those? They're pretty neat stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to always push the envelope on different things, and come up with something just different, right? Because again, you just like anything, any advertising, you just got to shake it up a little bit, right? And everyone starts doing the same thing, and you just got to be creative and be you.
Well, I really encourage everybody to visit Carrie's Instagram, which is Carrie McCormick Real Estate. So at Carrie McCormick Real Estate. And I really want you to look for a few things. One is, look at the professionalism. Um, that's obviously a subjective thing to look at, but I think we could agree that Carrie really emulates professionalism in her dress, in her style, in her appearance, her manner, the way she speaks. It's very, very calm and confident. There's a calmness and a serenity to her. Not an excitable. She's not excitable. She's comes across really tranquil in a way, but alert, tranquil and alert at the same
Thank
time,
you.
which I think is
Okay.
which is really, really nice, because that's, you always want somebody who's not as reactive, but is on top of things, and you come across that way very well. And also too, look at just the production value. Now notice and I want you all to realize, she doesn't have this giant camera crew following her. These are things she's doing herself. So notice the production value. Now obviously, she'll do drone shots and things, obviously, that are in drones, but she'll incorporate those into her own videos. watch it. Notice how seamless it is and how professional it looks. It really does look like you have this massive team trailing behind you with the boom mic and all the different cameras. And that's just not the case. And yeah, obviously you get your places professionally photographed and that, but it is really impressive. So guys, check out to see what she's doing that is very, very different than what most agents are doing on Instagram and other social media channels. So at Carrie McCormick Real Estate is where you go. And also, too, Chicago does have people that move into the city from other parts of the country. I moved from central Illinois. I was a Chicago person growing up. I moved here. Of course, people move out of Chicago as well. Maybe my parents are looking to retire down to Florida at some point. So a lot of people do that, right? So I guess we have a feeder market here. We have feeder markets
We
that
do.
that come into Chicago, and then we send people away once they retire, often to more warmer climates. So this is a great opportunity, all of our listeners, if you want to develop a relationship with Carrie, because maybe you have some great clients that need really good attention and need a good agent, and she would be a great fit for you. Or maybe vice versa. She's got clients that retire and move, and life events, get them out of the city. And she would love to talk to you because she's going to need a great realtor in your area someday as well. So what's the best way someone should reach out to you, Carrie?
Always call me 312-961-4612 or send me an email. People DM me all the time. Any way that you're comfortable with, I'll respond to.
Yeah, awesome. And again, the Instagram account is at Carrie McCormick Real Estate. Carrie McCormick RE is her website. We'll have links to those on the show notes. And again, if you don't have a good agent here in Chicago that you refer business to, you have one now. Reach out to Carrie, let her know what kind of clients you work with, see if there's some synergy there. Or maybe you want to help Carrie with her team. Maybe you're a Chicago agent. You're like, hey, maybe I can add value to Carrie's team. Now, I don't know that she's looking for anyone necessarily, but top 1% producers are always growing. So why don't you reach out and say, if nothing else, say thank you for being on our show on behalf of the rest of the listeners. We would appreciate that because Carrie is really too busy to do this, and she still does it, and she's so sweet. And
I love doing this.
Well, I am so grateful you do, because I don't have a backup plan, so we need you. So thank you so much. I want to thank our sponsors too. I really never mention our sponsors very much, but we love our sponsors. They keep the bills paid for us. So thank you to Carrie for coming on and providing amazing content and great perspective from a top agent. And on behalf of Carrie and myself, thank you to the listeners. Thanks for making it to the end of the episode. The best favor you could do for us is tell one other agent about this episode. Just send them a link, send them tell them they got to check out Keeping It Real, send them this episode and have them get hooked on us. We would appreciate that. And with that, we will say goodbye to everyone. Goodbye to Carrie until next month, and hope everyone has a great rest of the month. Carrie, thank you.